Hey, this is Niels on Dynasty. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be kind, helpful, and grateful. Buy some silver, some platinum, and some crystallized osmium because it's the thing to do.
Osmium is a platinum group, precious metal. It is significantly more rare than diamonds or gold. While it is toxic in its natural state, it is completely harmless in this crystalline form. The crystal structures are unique on every piece, which is the key to a very impressive security feature. It is very strong, hard, and reflective, similar to, or greater than diamonds. The price performance of osmium has been strong and steady, making it a suitable store of value. We see it becoming popular with stackers, and those who like knockout bling on their jewelry. Due to osmium's high value density, it is relatively easy to store, and easy to move or transport. It will never tone or tarnish. Think generational wealth.
What's up, people? How's it going today? Let's see, I got some other stuff to show here. Here, this is a good one.
And going platinum are to be believed. The precious metal is the best and baddest in all the land. The platinum industry brings in close to $8 billion per year, causing platinum to be coveted for its rarity, resilience, and versatility. Its scarcity makes the metal exclusive and valuable, while its resistance to corrosion and ability to withstand extreme conditions make it ideal for various industries. But how elite is platinum actually, particularly when compared with its best frenemy, gold? And more importantly, how is platinum made? Platinum is a rare element that does not occur naturally in a pure state. Instead, it is usually found alloyed with other platinum group metals in geologically unique rock formations called layered intrusions. The vast majority of the world's platinum reserves are concentrated in just a few of these mineral-rich intrusions. South Africa contains over 70% of known global platinum resources. Russia is the second largest platinum producing country, providing around 20% of global output. Outside of Southern Africa and Russia, platinum mining occurs on a smaller scale in North America and Zimbabwe, which accounts for around 5% of global platinum production. Its scarcity makes platinum rarer than gold. If you were to take all of the world's gold and fill an Olympic-sized pool with it, you could fill 3 entire pools. If you take all...
He doesn't know about, this is an older video. He doesn't know about cleaner metals or the discovery of a platinum vein in Thunder Bay, Canada.
the world's platinum reserves, you would only be able to
What's
fill
up,
one pool
C4
up to
Deja
your
Vu?
ankles. Platinum's rarity adds to its investment appeal and drives the price skyward. Most platinum mining occurs underground because platinum ore lies 4 meters deep. This makes underground hard rock mining the predominant technique.
And that's the great thing about clean air metals, is their platinum vein isn't that deep. It's a couple hundred meters. It's not like a couple thousand meters under the surface. So once they start mining, it'll be probably a 5-10 year run business before they mine out, because it's a surface vein. But it is going to add to the platinum supply at a much needed time in our history, which is right now.
For extracting platinum. This involves digging a vertical shaft deep into the earth and using elevators and hoists to move equipment and workers between the surface and the mine. Drilling and blasting are key parts of underground platinum mining. Specialized equipment like long hole drill rigs bore into the rocky face, inserting explosives to break the ore into manageable fragments suitable for hauling to the surface. The drill hole patterns are carefully designed by geologists to optimize breakage and safety based on deposit characteristics. After blasting, mucking machines clear away the blasted ore and transport it to the main shaft using underground rail or vehicle haulage. From there, a complex system of cages and conveyances lift the raw platinum ore to the surface for the next stage of processing. Underground mining for platinum is technologically advanced, but also dangerous work with many risks and challenges requiring extensive monitoring and safety measures.
And this is why it costs $1,100 to $1,300 to mine 1 ounce of platinum. And that is why I say platinum is manipulated in the price. You see the amount of equipment, time, energy, effort, and money thrown in to get just the ore up. It's not even in its pure form at that point in time. So how could they sell platinum in a pure form, in coinage or in bar form, for less than the cost of mining without it being manipulated? So when the price of platinum manipulation ends, trust me, the price is going to soar.
This is only the first step in the process to make platinum usable for the world, a process that can take up to 6 months to complete. Once the blast
No, we don't. Deja vu. To your question, we need Canada's minerals. No, we don't. The Democratic Republic of Congo, I did a couple of reports on, they were getting attacked in the southeast part of their country by Angola and this group called M23, and it was starting to take over the country. And the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and this wasn't in any other news that I know of than Neil's Nation News, made an offer to Trump saying, hey, if America stops these guys from taking over my country, I'll give you, mineral rights to mine. So it didn't make the news. We sent in several elite units. They took out the armies, convinced them to turn around and run tail. And just recently, what's up, Jester? The Democratic Republic of Congo's president, and I did a report on this too. It's not, we don't have exclusive mineral rights to the Democratic Republic of Congo, but we have first mineral rights. And that means basically close to as exclusive as possible. So we don't need Canada. We already paid for the mineral rights of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and they have more minerals than Canada has exposed at this point in time, although that will change once micro nuclear energy gets out and they start placing those in the northern part of Canada and are able to power mines up there. There'll be tons of mines, but that's not now.
Blasted platinum ore reaches the surface. The first step of processing is mechanical separation. The ore is
What's up,
crushed by
Kevin?
machinery into small fragments and mixed with water to form a slurry. The ore slurry is then ground in a mill to the consistency of beach sand to further expose the platinum particles. After milling, the platinum ore goes through froth flotation to enhance concentration. Chemical reagents called collectors are added to make platinum particles hydrophobic or water repellent. Aeration tanks then blow air into the slurry, allowing hydrophobic platinum grains to float to the surface in a mineral-rich froth which overflows for collection. The platinum concentrate collected by froth flotation contains about 15 to 20% platinum group metals, along with other residual minerals like copper and nickel. To isolate pure platinum, this concentrate first undergoes a high temperature smelting process where impurities are burned or melted off. The remaining substance is called matte. Additional smelting stages continue removing impurities from the matte, eventually yielding a nearly pure platinum end product ready for final chemical refining. To refine platinum even further, the smelting process continues. After crushing and grinding the dried platinum concentrate, it is blended with fluxes like silica and borax to lower impurity melting points in the smelter. Inside the extremely hot smelting furnace, reaching over 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,400 degrees Celsius, the molten material separates into layers based on density. Lighter impurities in iron form a top slag layer that is drained off, while dense precious metals like platinum sink to the bottom for collection. This process is repeated over and over to continue to remove impurities. Further refining is required to isolate pure platinum. The matte goes through several acid baths, precipitations, filtrations, and furnace sequences to remove sister metals. Finally, aqua regia dissolves the remaining platinum, which can then be filtered, dried, and heated to form a pure platinum sponge or powder ready for manufacturing. Once in its purest form, platinum is now ready to be transformed into usable daily cases. In jewelry, due to platinum's bright white luster and scratch resistance nature, it's a long-lasting choice for fine jewelry and intricate wire designs. In healthcare, platinum is used in chemotherapy medications, pacemakers, and used to slow the growth of tumors. In the automotive space, platinum is used to reduce harmful exhaust emissions and is responsible for the majority of vehicle catalytic converter demand. In the military industry, platinum coats jet engine parts and is a strategic mineral for various other defense technologies.
Very
With a resume like that, it
What's up,
appears that platinum's
79?
reputation and price tag are well deserved.
And there you go, another. Because if you don't have any platinum, you're going to wish you did have some platinum. Because China about half, and actually, there's a lot of channels just now starting to talk about it, platinum and what's happened over the past 2 or 3 years. They're just now starting to catch on. But for those 20 or 30 people that watch my show and have been with me for a while, you know everything that the quote unquote YouTube precious metals quote unquote experts are talking about when they say stuff about platinum. You can say, well, shit, I know more than this guy. And you probably will, because I've already on 2 occasions given you the World Platinum Council's straight emails that I get, and they're only giving information that I gave out like 6 months before that. What's up, Chad? So you want some good platinum information. I definitely got it before the other guys give it to you. And that's why I also say, a digital economy is going to be layered on top of our economy, making it growing our economy and our asset class. That'll partially take care of that $36 trillion debt. But digital platinum is really being pushed by the English Mint. So I would look at digital platinum. What's up, Maria? How do I recommend buying platinum? Well, it all depends on what your motivation is. What I would actually do if you don't have money to buy serious weight, when I say serious weight, I mean like an ounce or a half ounce, because that's still like $650 for a half ounce. What I would suggest is look at the platinum miners. And actually, what I would suggest, and this is not financial advice, but I would look at Clean Air Metals, because right now they're like 3 to 4 cents a share. And once the process, as you saw in this video, it takes a lot of energy, effort, and money to pull platinum out of the ground. And the supply that was found in Canada is only 400 meters underground, so it's not that far. Africa goes about 2,200 meters, so it costs them a lot more. So they're going to make a lot of money over the other platinum miners, and that stock will do a lot better than the increase in price of platinum. So if you only have like $100 to throw at platinum, I would look at Clean Air Metals, the newest platinum miner, and throw the $100 there. Because what's up, Joe? Because it's a better play. Because if platinum, say it's 1,000, which it's a little over, say it's 1,000, say it goes up to 6,000, that's only a 500x. For Clean Air Metals to do the same, it has to go from 4 cents to 20 cents. It's going to do more than that once they start selling the ore or the platinum that they get out of the ground, because it's a higher grade platinum than a lot of the platinums coming from South Africa and Russia. So they don't have to put in as much work smelting it, and they get more of the pure form of it. So they're going to probably do more than 5x, which means it'll do better than the physical platinum that you'd hold in your hand. But what you have to worry about is, will they steal the paper platinum? And, that's risk versus reward. If you only throw $100 at it, they're only stealing $100, but their return on investment on the $100 could be a couple thousand, to where it won't be that big in physical metals. So if you're just looking for a financial return, I would look that way. If you're looking for, more of a financial security, I wouldn't really look at platinum for that, because it is kind of hard to get rid of, because people don't know about it. Even the precious metal dealers you think, and your precious metal experts that you think would know about it, they really don't know about it because no one talks about it. So it is a little harder than gold and silver to liquidate. But that will change also. So depending on your perspective, as we started out this conversation, Mary, it all depends on what you're looking to get on the long run. So in the long run, if you only have like $100, I'd do the mining stock of the newest platinum miner. If you have a couple thousand throw at it, get some sovereign coins, because it seems like lots of states now are going to the sovereign gold and silver being money. So if they're doing that, that means that law follows the federal law that states that all American Eagles are legal tender, which means those states also have to take the platinum the mint, the American minted eagle, the platinum eagle, they'll have to take it because by law, all American eagles are, by federal law, all American eagles are money or legal tender. So these states that are making gold and silver coin, I'm pretty sure they're. I don't know if they're doing it just for the American mint eagle or if they're doing it for all silver and all gold. I haven't looked into it, but that's a big determination as well. Because if they're only doing it for the American eagles, the sovereign coins, then stick with the sovereign coins when you buy. But it all depends. Oh yeah, easily, Jester. It'll easily hit. But what I'm more interested in is seeing what happens after July 1st, because on July 1st, that's the initial start date of enactment of Basel III. So I'm almost positive, without having insider or being at the conference room where these people meet and talk about this stuff, I'm pretty sure they're going to be a majority of them will be in compliance with Basel III before the initiation date of July 1st, which means they have to take their gold holdings and increase from 10% to like 22 or 27%. That is my reason why I'm giving that central banks have been buying gold, because they have to. But after July, I'm pretty sure a majority of the more solvent central banks will have already of what they need to continue their business under the Basel III new regulations. So I think gold buying might slow down, but that's yet to be seen because there's no chart on that because there's been no enacting of Basel III before in history. So, we'll see. Yeah, basically, Chad. Uh, Same price for a half ounce of platinum or a roll of silver eagles. No, actually, I think a roll of silver eagles. How much are a roll? They're like $700 or $800. Yeah, and as Gerald mentioned, ZBN, that thing is. And if you guys have been listening to me, I've been talking about ZBN, not the company or its use case, but I've been telling you about ZBCN, excuse me, to keep an eye out for that one. And it's kind of already taken its first step up the ladder, which was a nice step. It's got more steps to take if you want to look at it. 700 and change for the 20 silver eagles. Right on. Yeah, so about the same for a half ounce of platinum for silver eagles. And that's where you look at, again, return on investment. Again, what is your reason for purchasing platinum? Because if it's only for financial gain, not only would I look at the paper mining stocks in platinum to give you a heavier return on investment, the $700 for 20 silver eagles, if it jumps up 125, that's 500%. So you'll have made just as much money in silver as you would have platinum, but yet you'll have an easier time getting rid of it or liquidating it if times really do get hard hit, because people will more than likely take silver and gold over platinum on a barter scenario. Not that I think it's going to get that bad, but that's what I think would happen. Not too many people appreciate platinum as much as they should. Chinese seem to be, and everyone wants to do what the Chinese do, except for when it comes to buying platinum. People are weird. Oh, the Chinese are buying this, let's buy this. Chinese are buying that, let's buy that. Chinese are buying platinum. I'm not buying platinum. Okay. Whatever. And I'm not suggesting you buy platinum. I'm just suggesting you look at it, look at the asset class, and make your own risk and reward analysis on it. Yeah, and again, Jeffrey Bodine, it depends on your end game and what you're getting into the metal for. Are you getting into it for profit? Are you getting into it for self wealth preservation, where you can actually have the precious metal in your little hands and in your pocket and in your vault, where if something happens, you can preserve your wealth through that. It all it's determined on your perspective of what you're getting it for. I had one more video, but I figured I'd do enough kitty cat videos. You guys probably wouldn't want to see it. The video is on how we domesticated the wildcat and made it a kitty cat, and why kitty cats still jump you from behind and attack your feet while you sleep, because they're still predators, little bastards. I myself like, depending on what asset class you're talking about, I like the stock energy sector because America is raring, rip raring, ready to go for control of the energy market of the world. And that puts NNE in a leading position for the next 30 to 50 years. NNE, because they've branched out. Not only are they doing what all other small modular reactor and micro nuclear reactor companies are doing, like OKLO and Dream Inc. and a few others, they're branching out in 5 different sectors: fuel transportation, storage, recycling, possible space usage, and rocket engines. So they've got so many subsidiary companies branching out from their company that they're going to be solid. They're going to be the Berkshire Hathaway or the Tesla of the energy sector, in my opinion, and that's just my opinion. And I think ZBCN will be the MasterCard of the digital platforms. And that's why I like it. And they actually are hooked up with MasterCard. And every time a country signs on to it, their stock jumps, or excuse me, their price jumps. And that's why I like ZBCN. They got a lot more companies to add to their network, and they're already backed by MasterCard. And anywhere you can use MasterCard, you can use the ZBCN card. And it does a lot more features. It's like a transitional from asset classes into what you would consider just a classical credit card, except for with more features. The new layered digital economy credit card, basically, is the way I see that. I mean, I could be wrong in the preciseness of it, but that's basically how I see that one. Yeah, once I get back to work, even if it's up to $50, I'm going to be buying some NNE. Sorry about that. I just had to go get a cat that threw up on me in the other room. I had to clean it up real quick. And that's cool. It's, there's so many different asset classes right now. And all of them have winners. All of them have losers. All of them will go down in a crash scenario. But in a crash scenario, if you look at history, stocks go up in a crash scenario. It's just that no one talks about that. So that when you bring it up, that certain sectors of the economy will actually boom in a crash, or not boom, but not crash, which technically is a boom. Hey, what's up, Pete and Repeat? Hey, Emerald. I mean, you just got to research and have advanced knowledge of the sectors, doing your own research or picking up what other people have researched, and then do your own research based off of that. And you'll see, I mean, I've got some good picks. I think I got 4 good picks in the stock market that'll fly. One of them you can actually make like 4 times a year. It goes from, it like quadruples and then drops back down, does nothing, and it'll quadruple, drop back down. I mean, that's a great way to make a residual income. But anyhow, 4 stocks that are good, I think are real good. Let's see, there's 3 cryptos I really like. And then I like silver and platinum and crystallized osmium. So, you got the precious metals, the cryptos, and the stocks. And all of them are going to make money. Not everyone in all those sectors. Precious metals, obviously, all of them will make money. But when you get into stocks and cryptos, not all the cryptos make money. Not all the stocks make money. As a matter of fact, most of them will lose your money in a crash. But during 2008, and my annuity from my union, it was set up to where it was end of the day trade. So if you called in and said, "Hey, move my money here," it didn't matter when you called; they wouldn't do it till the end of the trading day. And during this 2008 debacle, I started out with $20,000 in my annuity, and I could only put in a trade, or they would only do the trade at the end of the day. And I only had selected sectors that I could transfer my annuities to, and they took like a 0.5% or something like that. And at the end of the crash, I had 23,000. So I was a big winner. I only gained $3,000, but everyone else lost 40%. So I would have lost 8,000, and instead I gained 3,000. So I did 55% better than everyone else, and I couldn't even play with the money till the end of the trading day. I could have done a lot better. And at that point in time, I was like, okay, let me see. And I started looking at things and doing a little side research, and now it's getting time to where it's happening again. And I focused in on some certain sectors of each of the asset classes that are going to be around, and they're going to pop. You know, I'm not suggesting anyone take my advice. I am suggesting you do your own research. I'm not giving advice. I'm telling you what I know. It's not advice at all. It's like reading a book and having it narrated out for you so you don't have to read it. It's not advice. I do not give financial advice. I want to say that several times. I do not give financial advice. What I do is I give you the research I've done and ask you to do your own research and see what your scenario presents from your perspective. And it might be all bullshit from your perspective. And that's cool. At least you learned a little something by doing a little research. And that's the good part. Who's the big winner? The big winner will be, well, here, let me pull this. I'll pull this stock up and I'll show you this one. SFRX stock price. Nope, that's not it. Let me go back here. S. Okay, here we go. Let me share screen and tell you guys what I see. All right, here we go. Let me go. I guess that's full screen. Let me put it up here. Full screen layout. All right, now what I see, this is on a 1 month chart. Let's go back 6 months. Okay, you see these little things there? Right here, December 9th, it went up to 1 penny. And then it dropped down 0.00000. It was actually at like point something. And then it jumps up again to 1 penny. Then it drops down again. Now it's going back up from 0.000 up to 0.041. So what I'm saying is if you look at this thing, and it's not showing it, because if you do month to month, there's one in May. You do 6 months, okay. And it shows you one here in December. So you got one in May and one December. It shows you one in May, but it doesn't show you the one in December. Oh, that's up to year to date. My bad. See, it started back here. It was floating at 1 cent. Then it started dropping. Then right there was your first good buy. Buy it right there. Boom. Quadruple your money. Boom. And I think it's happening again. You see that chart? See what I'm talking about? It floats at a penny. It'll drop down. Buy, sell. Buy, buy, sell. Buy, sell. Buy, sell. Oh, that was a good sell there. That went up to 2 pennies, 3 pennies. And that's from 21 till 25. So there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times you could have quadrupled your money in, small stock. Like I said, you can see here, it's less than half of 1 penny. But you could still, looking at this chart from going back 5 years, I'm seeing how, and it always goes up to 1 cent. It's pretty steady up until here, in which case that's great because it's over 1 cent. But if you put $1,000 in here and it goes up to 1 cent, you made $10,000. You sell up top, wait till it goes back down, buy, you made another. So here you go, buy, there's 10,000, buy, there's 10,000, buy, there's 10,000, buy, there's 10,000, buy, there's 10,000. There's $50,000 you could have made on $1,000 on the same stock repetitively year after year after year. That's what I see there. Is that what's happening? I don't know. That's what I see. That's why I said just Chad, yeah, don't put your eggs all in one basket. That's why I say like $1,000, $100. You take $100, turn it into 1,000 5 times. It was just using a round number and showing how if you can find stocks, there are stocks out there that are repetitively money makers on a smaller scale. But if you throw money at them, you're going to make money. And no matter what the time is, you just got to see the trend of that stock. As I showed you on a 5-year chart, there's definitely a trend. It goes up to 1 penny and drops down to 0, which is like 0.003 on average. And then it goes back up to 1 penny. So you're like quadrupling your money. And it happens again. Sweet Caroline. Right on. It's always good to have some. I also suggest looking at Clean Air Metals, the stock. It's fixing to jump. At the beginning of this show, I showed what it takes to mine 1 ounce of platinum and what you think it would cost. And trust me, it costs close to between $1,100 and $1,300 to get you 1 ounce of platinum. And for years, it's been for sale for less than the price it takes to mine it, refine it, and put it in that form. So it is a good buy, a better buy. Now that you have some physical, it'd be look at Clean Air Metals and maybe throw $100 at that. And I believe your return on investment will be higher on that $100 than it will be on that platinum, that physical platinum. Although it feels good to have physical platinum, you can always do something. It is a store of value too. It's just harder to liquidate. The reason why it's harder to liquidate, it's 30 times more rare than gold, which is why it should be a lot more expensive than gold. Again, manipulation. Anytime it costs $1,100 to $1,300 to mine an ore, refine it, and get it into coin form into your hands, and they're selling it for less than it costs for them to do that, that's clear manipulation. And I've seen the clear manipulation, and I've called what it is. It's China's One Belt. As a matter of fact, Rubio, our Secretary of State, I think, called out China and said he was at some congressional thingy. And one of the Democrat congresswomen was like, well, China's investing in this, that, and other. He goes, no, they're not. They're giving predatory loans that'll bankrupt China eventually because none of these countries can pay it back. And they consume the product that they gave the predatory loan to. But yet China's economy is falling apart because they're putting out money and getting these assets, and no one's using these assets, and they're not getting paid back. They're going downhill faster shit. But anyhow, Rubio called out China, and so I appreciate that. So he sees what's going on. So it's coming. It's coming. The end of the manipulation, because the manipulation started for platinum when South Africa signed up for the One Belt Road Initiative, which is a predatory loan system where they give over the assets. And I did a video on this. China courted South Africa into BRIC, because there was only 4 of them at the time. It's BIRC, and South Africa made the S for BRICS. But I found the paperwork. I read it out to you guys on my show. It said China courted South Africa because their unique minerals of diamonds, gold, and platinum. And we find out last year China bought half the world's supply of platinum at a significantly reduced price. Because if they had not put South Africa on the One Belt Road Initiative contract, the predatory lending contract, platinum would probably be $6,000 an ounce now, and they would have had to buy half the world's supply at 5,000, at 5 times more expense than they paid for it now. And anyone who's in business and you deal with billions of dollars, that doesn't happen overnight. You make business deals, it takes years for them to turn around for you to make billions of dollars, or save billions of dollars. And that's the way most countries look at things. And since China, the country, doesn't separate private industry or private business from their military or country assets, the country actually owns all those businesses, and they look at it that way. That's why they do the predatory long-term lending to these countries. Whew, that was a mouthful. They changed the rules on trading 4 or 5 years ago. Something called wash prevents me from swinging trading, so I didn't like it. Okay, cool. Right on, Chad. Yeah, anyone who's got metals, Deja Vu, is going to do well. But then again, there's another way to think of it. If you have 100 to 200 acres of just raw land out there, and you go out and it's got 1 or 2 creeks on running through the property, you go out there and pan and you find yourself a little bit of gold. Imagine how much that land's going to be worth when they reevaluate gold from like 3,000 to 60,000. How much will you be able to sell that land for? Just advertise it's got gold on it. You just quadrupled or 10x that fucking price of that land. So you can make money off of pre-purchasing land that has traces of gold on it, which a lot of properties do, just small amounts. And due to the newer technologies of the sluice machines that came out 3-4 years ago, we can now collect the Angel's gold, which has never been able to be collected before. So most rivers and creeks, what's up, Jane? You can get gold out of small Angel's gold and small protectors, and some of them even small pickers, as Dan Hurd would say on his show. Shout out to Dan Hurd. So if you buy in the right state, more states like the states in the Appalachian Mountains, they haven't been seriously mined since before 1850. So they've been sitting pretty barren for about 130 years and no one getting them. So if there is any gold up there that's been seeping out like it does here in the Sierra Nevadas, not too many people are getting it. So there could be a lot of gold in that land. So you could make a lot of money off of pre-purchasing land before the price of gold reevaluates. If anyone knows what that date will be, I'd love to know. I have no idea when they're going to reevaluate it. Some people keep talking about it. I don't think it'll come until after June 30th, 2028, after the completion date of the enactment of Basel III. Then every central bank that's in 100% compliance will garnish the benefits of a gold reevaluation, and they'll be able to wipe their credit debt to zero because of that. And that's the way I think the whole world could get together on a reevaluation of gold and a debt, basically a tribulation of debt, basically is what that would be. A total erasure of debt is what that would be. Because at that point in time, your assets, if they 10x the price of gold and they reset it, that 10x is your price, the amount of assets you have to lend at a leverage at 100 to 1. So in reality, they just strengthen every financial institution, which they want to be, all the central banks and anybody who buys and holds physical metals. That's why a lot of people, actually individuals, are buying them, but they're buying them at an increased price, because I believe that central banks are buying this gold to front run the initiation date of Basel III, which is July 1st, 2025, which is right around the corner. And I think after that date, gold purchasing by large corporations and central banks will start slowing down big time, and you'll see a stabilization in the price of gold, and then you will get back to a normal gold run, and then silver will sprint, and that's probably when we'll see silver. We'll probably see silver end of July, beginning of August, September, somewhere around there, start sprinting. Pink Panther's good show. Yeah, link's pinned at the top for any one of you guys want to come up here. As you can see, you don't have to show your face. I'm showing Zeus micro nuclear reactor. I'd like to actually have one on my backyard. Make some money off that. I think one of them could power 120,000 houses or a small city. but I'm not 100% on that. If someone can correct me, they produced 60 megawatts, or the ones they're looking at are producing, and they can change by design and what company. But I think it's like an average of 60 megawatts of power an hour. I think that's 120,000 or 60,000 houses. It's quite a bit. And just think, if you bought that one of those things for 30 million, hooked it up to a city of 120,000 and charged them each $10 a month, you'd be making 1.2 million a month. You'd be making some serious bucks. And they'd be having cheaper electric bills. And that's why I say electricity by 2030 is going to be 75% cheaper than it is now. But as time goes on, more of this will be seen. People will realize what I'm talking about. Sorry, guys, lots of little cootie emergencies. They sleep about 18 hours a day, but the other 6 hours, it's emergency after emergency with those little fuckers. You're in my basement. Oh my God, let me let you out. Help, help, I'm drowning.
Hey, I think at this stage of the game, I'd rather be living in your basement than in this shed.
Dude, I tell you what, man, this basement, the back half of it that I'm living in is like 2 foot under ground level from outside. And because of that, like right now, it's like almost 90 outside. Dude, I'm like cool. And I've got my windows open with just 2 small little like 8-inch fans going. Yeah. And I'm real cool right now. I walk outside, I start sweating. If I go upstairs, I'll start sweating.
Oh, so you are in your basement as well then?
I live in the basement of this house. It's like it's 2 inches too short to meet with the California regulations for a livable, rentable pad. Okay. So they can't rent it out. So when I was getting evicted from my place in 2013, 1 block away, everyone knew about me because I was cleaning up the neighborhood and stuff. And a lot of people got together and said, hey, put him right there. Let him stay there because you can't rent that out anyhow. And the neighborhood does not need to lose him. So the owner's husband at the time, they're now divorced, but at the time, said, hey, Neil, move in here. And they're the backyard for my dogs. I was like, cool, hell yeah. I don't have to pay rent either. Sure, why not? And I moved in here, and then they got a divorce, and his wife moved in, and I'm still here, and it's been like 8 years.
So it's probably what, 7 foot 10 inches?
8 feet. I'm not exactly sure. I know it's her ex-husband had lots of problems with code enforcement because he was like he was one of those guys that would buy houses and like max use rental.
Yeah.
So he would cut corners and stuff. So code enforcement was totally on his ass any property he bought. So I mean, I think after he put the tile floor in, it was like 2 inches too short. And what he would have had to done is basically knock out all the concrete and lower it by 2 inches and then redo it. And he just said, fuck it, and didn't do it.
Yeah, definitely not worth.
Yeah, but he really fucked up a lot of houses with what he was doing.
Well, that's wild though, because like anytime I've seen you with your camera, hey 79, anytime I've seen you with your camera on, I could have sworn you were like on the main level.
No, actually, if I walk outside at the bottom of my window, my knees will be exposed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about 1.5 feet to 2 foot below ground level on the back half because see, we're on a hill. The front half is at ground level. The back half is about 2 foot under ground level.
Gotcha, almost like a back split type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's because it was built into a hill.
Hey Wayne.
Yeah, I got to see what Wayne's question is here.
Yeah. Yeah, and the newest spark plugs now, like I just got them switched in my car. They're Iridium.
Nice. My thoughts on that are several. It depends on how you get the spark plug down to the point where you'd stick it in a smelter. Because if you do it without like busting off as much of the ceramic and other stuff, it might throw off some gases, and you might have to wear a mask, and have a ventilated. Depending on where you're doing. If you're outside, obviously, it won't be as harsh. But there's going to be money in it. I would say right now, keep saving them up and wait for the price of platinum to go up. And as the price of platinum keeps going up, it'll be more and more valuable to have more of those. And then in the time that you're collecting more and more, do some research on what you need to do that. Because if you're going to like smelt other metals out of the spark plug to get to the platinum, you're going to have to get that up to 2,500 degrees. And that could be expensive depending on how you do it.
It's a great idea, especially if you have, like an endless supply of them.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful because I don't hear any. If you can collect them up, and like I said, I don't know if at 1,000 or 1,100 an ounce, it's worth it financially. But once it takes its normal spot above gold, it'll definitely be worth it. So if you collect more of them until that point, it'll even be more valuable for you to do it. And if you're you're a mechanic and have access to that, I'd collect the crap out of them, brother.
Yeah, or people, for example, that work at. I actually worked at a auto recycling place for 7 or 8 months. You get all these scrappers coming in, and
like
everything that's going to actually get scrapped just for weight. You may as well pull those plugs out if it's going with the motor. Now, this is saying spark plugs frequently contain platinum and often iridium. You can recover them. The precious metals are in the tips of the electrodes, and the process involves sophisticated metallurgy. But I would even say, even if you can't do that yourself, there's going to be someone that can. And so just having that sort of endless supply of them, I still think you could make decent money being the middleman, having someone else do it.
Well, from what Wayne just put down here, I'd say start doing it, bro. It sounds like if all you got to do is cut the tip off and smelt it, dude, if you got like 100 to 200 of them, it'd be worth it. Throw it all in one smelter, do it all at once. You could probably come up with, well, depending on how many you have, a quarter to a half ounce of platinum, maybe.
Yeah.
But again, I wouldn't even bother selling it till the price goes up, because right now is the time to buy and not sell when it comes to platinum. In my opinion, not financial advice.
Hey, C4T. Greetings. And I'm glad you shouted out Dan Hurd earlier.
Yeah, I loved his show, man. I've learned a lot from watching that man.
Oh, he reminds me of a little leprechaun. He's like a gold magnet.
Well, he knows a lot about gems, man. There's this one little area he goes to. It's filled with garnets. It's like you can't even step anywhere without stepping on a garnet. It's like a garnet beach. All you got to do is sift through with different grades of millimeter grades of sifter, and you can get different size of garnets. And all you got to do is take them home, polish them, and boom, facet them, polish them, put them in some jewelry, and you're there.
Yeah.
Listen to Diabolical and B. Taylor. But yeah, that's that guy. He shows a lot on how to get a lot of things going. I like him.
Me too, and quite entertaining, and valuable knowledge in there too.
That's what I like about him more than knowledge, because he's been doing it a while and he's got the knowledge and he's sharing it. I now think I could go on a 4-wheeler through the mountains and be able to tell you, nah, that's probably an old tailings pile. That's probably a natural formation. To where like a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Mhm. I think that he used to be a science teacher.
I
Was it
think
not like
you're correct.
geology at least, or geography?
I think you are correct. He was a teacher.
And I'm sure he would have been a good teacher too. Like he's very, very good at explaining things.
I would not have messed with him. I would have enjoyed his class, I'm sure. Most teachers I messed with because they were not intelligent about what they were teaching.
Yeah. I'm going to drop his link again too. I think it's worthwhile.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And everyone, all you guys are blue. Start dropping your own links.
And I actually shared the screen for his YouTube homepage just so anyone that wants to check it out can get a little idea of it. Great way to spend an hour if you just want to wind down at the end of the day.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
I was
And
taking
obviously quite popular with 1.42 million subscribers.
Yeah, he gives a lot of good information about the newer tools as they come out and technology on different types of mining and stuff too.
Yep. And rock hounding,
Yep.
crystal collecting.
And cutting. He goes out looking for stones just to cut them, to slab them out.
Yeah. That's one thing that I wish I would have learned more about when I was younger. It's all fine to learn about it now, but I think I could have taken advantage of more of it, 20, 30 years ago.
I actually I have two gem and or rock cutter machines I have yet to use. I need to hook up with when the time is right. I need to hook up with the Vietnamese government and see about importing some gems from that country because they disallow by law industry to mine for gems in their country. What's up, Hunter? So you can only get them from local miners, and that's how they stimulate local economies in all these little villages in Vietnam. But you can get real good deals on uncut gem specimens of different types of gems in that area of the world from that marketplace.
I just wanted to mention to Diabolical Debbie there. I wonder if I think that you have, but if not, I think you should link up with Gigi's Unhinged. She frequently discusses that sort of thing. And I know she's very interested in it and loves talking with other people about that sort of thing. Especially like, haunted, what was, seeing orbs and all this sort of thing.
Well, for all those people that are into that sort of thing, is if you see how many kitty kits I have, you can tell I'm blessed.
Yeah. It's not your shadow following you, Neil. It's your kitty cats.
I got one of those little bastards fucking straight up jumps on my legs as soon as I'm walking through. He'll jump on my leg and start climbing up. It's
Right.
like I don't have my camera ready to film it, but it would be a great one to film, watching him climb up my leg up to the camera.
Neil, the human scratching post.
Dude, I got at least three of them. As soon as the little 8 ones are big enough to jump up on my bed, I'll probably have more than 3 on my bed at night. It sucks in the summertime because they're 101-degree little heaters.
Do you find that they shed quite a bit?
I vacuum daily.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of cats, so no, individually, no. 2 or 3, not a problem. You get more than that, yeah.
How are you managing I don't know how else to say it, but like their kitty litter situation.
Oh, litter boxes. Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them right now, and I'm gonna have to add 3 more.
Okay, so that is
I keep it 2 cats per kitty litter per box is what I'm gonna get at. But right now, the little ones only have 2 boxes.
okay. So that's still quite the production.
Yeah, and when I go to work, I'll be gone for like 12 or 13 hours a day because of travel time, and it'll be probably 10-hour days. I've been already thinking about it, what I'm gonna have to do, because I'll have to wake up like an hour early, and then an hour of my day after I come home will be occupied. So I'll actually have like 14 to 15 hours of my day will be taken 6 days a week, and just keeping up the house, the cats, and travel time and work. But the pay's still gonna be good, so.
Well, and cats are usually a little better with that sort of thing than dogs. So,
Oh yeah.
do you still have any dogs?
Nope. Lost last 2 turn of the year. Cancer got both of them. They were 14 though, and they're big. They were big dogs. They're not little dogs. So 14 is good.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have. If I was wealthier, I could have done a lot of stuff for them. Probably had them live a couple more years, but oh well. 14 is good for the average person taking care of a large dog.
Yeah, definitely. Anything over 12 for a large dog is pretty good.
Yeah, I have high standards. I like it higher than that, but
Mm-hmm.
again, finances. If you don't give them the best food, then the medical bills start racking it up eventually. If you feed them good, you don't have many medical bills. So basically, you pay for the health one way or another. So you might as well pay for the health up front in the food they eat.
Right?
At least that's the way I see it.
Well, it would be tough to argue that unless you're maybe a veterinarian,
Yeah.
promoting their own business revenue.
Yeah.
And even then, now I'm finding that a lot of veterinarians are starting to push their own, in quotes, veterinary exclusive pet foods.
Yep.
They start recommending that to their customers / patients.
Yeah, the ones that can afford their services.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always remember when I was a kid and we'd go to the vet with the dogs or the cats, they didn't push for blood tests. They didn't put, just one time for the dog. That'd be it. Not, several times or every time you visit. It's gotten to where the lady upstairs, when she had this one cat, it was like for flea medication. Instead of being able just to give her the prescription, she had to bring the cat in for a checkup, which cost $200 just to get the flea medication. And that's like it's the same flea medication, same cat. What the hell? It's the greed of the veterinarian.
Yep.
So veterinarian's a good field if you have a good vet, but a lot of them are greedy, just like doctors. That's why we have a lot of our health debacles.
Yeah, exactly. If you focus on preventative measures, then you're much more likely to not need interventions.
Indeed.
I'm contributing to global warming at this very moment.
Are you farting?
No, I just turned on my little heater.
Oh, screw that, man.
Well, 750 watt per hour.
I am totally down with global warming, man. If you could get them Canadian waters warmed up into the 70s, I might come up there and go swimming.
It's amazing. You may be familiar with Lake Huron. That sucker freezes right over and goes ice in the winter, probably half a mile out from the beach.
The Lake Huron?
Lake Huron on the...
Oh, Huron. I thought you were talking about the Lake Huron.
No.
H-U-R. I know. I'm messing with you.
But, so it's cold all the way through the spring, right through the middle of summer. But then by fall and autumn, it starts really warming up. So like on a cold day, then you can go in the lake and actually feel pretty warm.
Yeah, but you still get that white stuff. Global warming has to kick in more.
Yep. We've had an unusually cold spring this year.
Here's something. Here's some give people thinking. If you really want to think this uh, global warming thing, water dropping, rising, whatever.
Yep.
Okay, there's what, like 9 billion people. So that's 9 billion gallons of water get drunk every day, or 2.7 trillion gallons every year. Has that been taken into calculations?
Probably, like that's why a lot of the water and sewage processing plants, they're saying they're actually starting to put that back into the
Well,
city
well,
water
if
supply.
if the water is table's rising, then we're going to have more water in the aqueducts.
That's right. So it shouldn't
So,
be an
so we
issue.
don't so we don't need recycled water.
Yeah. Do you guys have that sort of thing where they say you can only water your lawn? You know,
We did about a decade or so ago. They tried that, and
okay.
actually no, it was like 7 or 8 years ago they tried that. So I watered my. I found out I'm a dick. I found out in advance they told us they were going to do it, so I watered everything heavy for about 6 months, so they'd get a higher rating of water use to judge me off of.
That's funny.
So everyone else had to quit watering their yard because they didn't water heavy while they were judging your water usage to regulate your water off of, to where I found out what dates they were doing that. So I said, okay, I need to do heavy water usage for this time period. So that way they see that I use a lot of water. And so that way when I drop it 30%, that'll be still more than I typically watered anyhow. So I'll be, it didn't affect me.
Do you get a water bill like utilities for water usage?
Yeah, I'm sure we do. Everyone does. Well, most everyone does. I don't pay it. Don't pay the electric bill either.
That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard of, having to pay for water.
Well, I can see if you need to pump it and do all this other stuff, you just pay a little bit for that. But they've gone way overboard, and they've added chemicals and all this other crap. And then they added bureaucracy. Anytime you add bureaucracy, you add money.
Or a meter, right? They meter something that's already free, and it should already be free. There we go. Jeffro's got the rain barrels happening, which is that's ideal for plants.
Oh yeah.
So much better than tap water. There's an abandoned silver mine in Lake Superior from way back. That does not surprise me at all, Jeffro.
Nor I.
There's tons of silver mines all over the place.
Tons of gold mines in America since they registered gold mine. Only registered gold mines. They've got 3,500 of them. No, I think it's over 5. Oh, no, I don't really know for sure. It's somewhere between 3,500 and 5,000 registered gold mines. And those are not all large ones. They're smaller ones. And so they anticipate to have over actually 500,000 gold mines that were like unregistered, to where if you buy some land and there's like a cave, it was probably a gold mine that went in like 100 yards and then quit.
And there's a lot of landowners who are very smart and good with prospecting, and they won't tell anybody that they're finding gold on their land. Right? Telling people that would be the dumbest thing. Point just simply being, I think there's a lot of gold sources that are not on the books.
Well, just like in Africa, I did a show on the Sahel, in the whole area of the Sahel region of Africa, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. They got like supposedly from their what they call their Parisian mines, which is individuals going out mining, unregistered mining.
Yep.
It supposedly had like 50 tons a year taken out of the ground that was not accounted for on the books. I did a show on it. Dubai bought most of it, and then they took it to Switzerland, and then Switzerland sold it to America.
So Jeffrey was saying that mine in Lake Superior is actually in the lake. They built walls and steam pumped out the water.
Now that is cool.
That's really interesting. Really interesting. Silver and gold are both transition metals.
What's that mean?
It means that
They
within
go.
biology, within living beings, they're actually necessary for the proper function of.
Yeah, we every human has like a couple grams in their body when you die. If they like uh, flame you up, what's that?
Inflammation?
No, cremate you. They can probably recover about a gram or so of gold out of the ashes.
It's possible.
Every human alive has gold in their body. A little bit, not a lot.
Have you ever heard of Mud Fossil University, Neil?
Mud Fossil University. Fossil University, Mud Fossil, not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. He discusses transition metals at length on
Interesting.
his channel. I'll drop the link. I found it to be very, very, very informative channel, and I'm dropping the link for it right now.
Sure.
In fact, I tried to get him on one of my live streams there for an interview, specifically discussing gold and how and where to find it. And once he figured out that was my main interest, he really backed off. He was hoping that it was more just generic interest in everything that he has to say on his channel, and there's so much there.
Yeah, that's because he just wanted to lightly touch on everything. He didn't want to get too into it, probably.
That's right. And like he also discusses at length how the education system is like wrong. What they're teaching in science,
Oh yeah.
biology,
Oh yeah.
flat out freaking wrong. And so he's trying to prove to these academic scholars, and they poo-poo him all the time, and he's getting really upset about it. So that link there that I just posted is to his channel. If I definitely support him and what he's doing, and anyone that's interested in searching for the truth, you're definitely going to be very interested in that.
He's getting into what I was into when I was in second grade.
Yeah.
I actually got kicked out of school because I got into it with a teacher, and it got physical because I told her she didn't know what the hell she was talking about.
Jeffrey used to drink Goldschlager. I did too. Actually, I bought a full bottle of it, and I have. Oh man, it's probably a year ago that I bought it, and I still haven't opened it up. It's been a couple of years since I've drank any Goldschlager, but it's beautiful to look at it in the bottle. The little flakes of gold in it. Gold flake.
Yeah, people who drink Goldschlager obviously have more gold in their body than normal people.
Well, I don't know. Like in some Asian cuisine, like Chinese and other Asian cuisine, they'll sometimes put gold leaf on the plate as like a garnish, to make it look nice, but it's edible as well.
Oh yeah.
But you wouldn't want to overdo it. Australia and Canada are considered to be British colonies. That's true. Meaning the crown owns it. Royalties are paid by our mining giants. Rio Tinto, BHP, Fortescue to the
There you
crown,
have that in, there we go.
regardless if it's private land. Yeah, but if you don't tell them that you're finding it, then Bob's your uncle, right?
Pretty much. It's seen. That's what I like about Alabama, and I always talk about Alabama. It's because you can't trespass on your land legally, and if you own like 150, 200 acres, and there's a river and a creek, and you're high banking or doing something like that, ain't no one gonna know because you can't go on that land.
That's right. Well, and to me, if you have the title to land, you shouldn't have to pay property tax to begin with. But if you are paying property tax, then expropriation and for them to tell you what you can and can't do on there is completely offside, in my opinion. It's ridiculous.
Mm, there's different ways people see different things.
It's great. If I say you own that truck that says Zeus, right, in
Yeah,
your picture there, you
yeah,
own that, okay, and we enter an agreement whereby I'm going to buy it from you, and I take the
okay.
title to that. How can you be entitled to charge me tax every year on it and then tell me, you can only do this and that with it?
Well, the road's got to be maintained, and theoretically, the tax goes to that. And where the system's got screwed up is that money has been diverted for personal gain or getting re-voted into office. They divert funds. What it's called is it's actually here it happens a lot in this town. It's it's diverting expenses. It's offsetting. There's a word for it where money is allocated for certain things, but they offset the expense of maintenance because it doesn't need to be done at that time for proper maintenance, and they wait until there's an issue and they build up that money yearly in tax and spend it somewhere else.
Gotcha.
Our city actually went bankrupt because we took it too far.
And I guess also, to be fair, when you enter an agreement of purchase on land, there probably is somewhere in all of that legal paperwork something that says, you still have to comply with, all of those rules and the property tax and everything else.
Yeah,
But
and that's where
to
you
me,
look at
it's
different
it's
states.
double dipping. It's control.
That's where you look at different states and how much property tax each state charges, because each state is different. Alabama, for example, is the second lowest of 40 out of all 50. It's 49th lowest in property tax. So it's really
Nice.
not a big deal.
Hey, Maria. Maria's asking if misappropriation was the word. I don't think that's the word. I think it is what Neil was saying. It's like uh, building up a fund.
Yeah, I don't know what the legal term is. All I know is when they do a tax, it's supposed to be used for that purpose, but yet they can divert funds if, like I said, if during the year that they're supposed to do maintenance, so they take the transportation money used for like a gas tax, and they say, okay, well, we don't need to do maintenance this year. We'll hold off until next year, and we'll use that money for this purpose. And then they vote on it, and people who go to these city council, county council, and all these other meetings will know about this stuff, but the rest of us don't. And that's why it pays to stay informed. And by staying informed, it means go to your city council and county council and commission meetings, because this is the type of stuff they discuss. Should we divert funds? And if no one's there opposing it, and typically all these politicians will bring their close friends that'll yay and nay and back them up, to where the general populace, they've gotten politics where no one really gives a fuck about it, to where all you need is about 20 people at a city council meeting and you can pretty much get anything passed. And no one else knows about it until after all the corruption. And that's kind of sort of how it happens.
That's what it's called, provision. It's provisional. I believe that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Sounds like are you grinding something up?
Yeah. One of the cats has starting to get a little diarrhea, so I'm giving a little mix up here of some stuff and fixing to shove some stuff down her throat. That'll help her out. And she'll hate me for a little while, but she'll get over it. Great thing about being a field medic is they teach you actually how to be a doctor while getting shot at. So you can do a lot of shit, excuse me, a lot of stuff that if you have the stuff to do it, and you don't need to go to a doctor or a vet or anything like that for. And I kept up with that stuff. So I never have trusted doctors. I just think I'm see them as legal drug dealers. Because
Did you ever see that TV series Band of Brothers?
yeah, it was about those dudes at World War II.
Yeah,
The Big Red One or something like that. Actually,
yeah. It followed one company specifically, but several others as well. It was what do they call it? Paratroopers.
yeah,
And so it was sort of like a very, very extended version of Saving Private Ryan.
yeah.
So I thought it was really, really well done.
They were part of the big. That storyline is part of the Big Red One's movie storyline, which was taken from actually the First Division's assaults throughout World War II, from Africa through to Germany.
Okay. Oh, Deplorable Kulak's got EMT basic training. Very cool.
Yeah, everyone should. Man, the basics you could really just from the basics you could save a lot of people's lives in a scenario where you can't get to the doctor, like choking scenarios, or
Yep.
if someone just needs a little CPR to get them through whatever threw them into the cardiac arrest that they had, and then they'll get back up from the heart attack and whatnot, and be okay, but take them to the doctor later. But you save their life by being able to do that CPR on spot. There's lots of good can be done.
It's true. That should be taught in school.
Indeed.
Like middle school, if not sooner.
Yeah, it should be in the mind thought process. If you look at the schooling, the way Japan schools their kids, it's very interesting. In our elementary schools, we concentrate on different principles of learning. First, ways to do things, ABCs, one, two, threes, all this other crap. In Japan, they teach their kids to be more sociable. In other words, take your shoes off, clean up after yourself, and they start their whole life regimen differently than we do here in the West. And that's why they have a more civil society than we have. One reason. Because the young mind is the most easiest mind to imprint. And they imprint politeness and kindness and cleanliness. Yeah. What's up, Pete?
And I think learning capacity, I think it's been proven that learning capacity is greatest your first 5 years of life.
Yeah. And that's probably why I never had a wife and kids, because I've always said if I had a kid, I'm going to stick them in this little thing, little crib, and I'm going to have audio books talking philosophy, math, science, all kinds of stuff for his first 2 years.
That and high quality music too. High quality music is also attributed to brain development.
Probably, from my understanding of what you're saying, would be more classical.
Yes,
that's the more mathematically induced music, more so than modern music, and it's more computational application than modern music.
Yeah, nothing against Snoop Dogg, but I don't think playing rap, and now he may disagree, and it would actually be a good conversation. That would be a great conversation.
It'd be a horrible conversation because he'd lose.
But you're right. It's that's what the studies that I looked at had to do with was classical music.
Yeah,
like Beethoven, Mozart.
You got sophisticated math in the base premise of that music. That if your child, somehow our minds, like you said, they work differently when they're young. Because I know I got hit heavy with math crap when I was young. And that's why I'm pretty good at math right now. It's because when I was really young, I got bombarded with math problem solving stuff.
Deplorable Kulak. That's funny.
What's up, deplorable?
Getting the children ready for what the mainstream media is going to start shoving into their brain cells.
Well, that's the parents' fault for giving them freaking cell phones. They've actually got a condition now in the necks where most young kids have problems with their necks because they're looking down at some sort of a technological device more so than they're looking up.
Mm-hmm.
That's when your society's going in the wrong direction, bro.
Well, they tend to walk into trees and
all kinds of things out in front of cars, all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
That's one of the bad things I hate about this virtual reality glasses type stuff, where you have regular glasses, but it'll show computer digital stuff in front of you where you can read stuff as you're wearing your regular reading glasses. They got this new technology coming out for that. It's actually old technology. Fighter pilots have had it for a long time, but they're going to be turning it out to the public, and it's going to cause a lot of freaking problems for people. For one, depth perception, and then attention span, and then obviously aware of where you're at while you're diverting your attention to something else that's not really there. Yeah, I see a lot of issues. That's why I want to move out to the country, because I can still have access to that stuff, but I don't get to see all the stupid people use it.
mm-hmm.
Because there's going to be, there's always stupid people. It doesn't matter. It sounds bad, but throughout history, it's like there's a good 10%. They're just going to be stupid. And whatever you can anticipate stupid people do, they'll do. And you can go back as far in history as you want and look at documents, and they're stupid people.
Oh, greatest example of that is when someone puts their, when they're driving, they put their left signal blinker on and turn right. That one always gets me.
With modern technology, with these cameras they have in cars now,
yep.
If you hit that person, because you were going to, kind of scoot around to the right as they were going in the median to the left with a left turn signal, but they make a right turn instead,
yep.
You could put the fault on them through your video that you have for them doing that stupid move. Because in reality, it's the person's stupid move for not paying attention to what turn signal they were presenting.
Yeah.
Because the turn signal is made for safety so that people. And then the other side, the defendant would say, well, yeah, for safety, you shouldn't have tried to pass on the right-hand side. And that's where you'd have to go to court over it to see who's actually responsible. But in reality, the person with the turn signal is responsible.
I think they'd iron it out to 50-50 responsibility, and they'd say everyone. I've heard this in court before with respect to motor vehicles. Everyone is responsible for 365 degrees around their vehicle.
Yep.
At all times.
Yep.
And so they've got that as an ace up their sleeve. Like, I know a lot of people will tell you, if someone rear ends you, it's 100% that person's fault. But there is something in there where, like, ultimately they can still bring it down to 50-50, like B. Taylor says.
Yeah. I like what Deplorable says there.
Yeah, Deplorable's got some funny comments.
I actually like that one because they're coming out with glasses that can do that. And it's coming. They've had the technology. I've never done a report on it. But when commercials were real big, starting to come out back in the 70s, they somehow had this optical tracer, and they used glasses on people, and they'd pay you to sit down and just watch commercials. And somehow with these glasses on, they'd be able to tell exactly where you were focusing in on the commercial, where your eyeballs were actually focusing in on, so they could actually direct market better. They wanted to tell what people were actually paying attention to. And of course, guys always paid attention to the tits if it was a girl on the commercial. And that's what's led to a lot of our commercials. But also the technology that Deplorable was talking about, that same technology, whatever was in those glasses they put on these people's heads back in the 70s to tell where they were looking at on a television screen, that technology has advanced to where now you can have a computer inside that glass virtually show up only on the inside of that glass that you can read, no one else can see. So that technology has been around for about 40 or 50 years. It's just advanced to a really good use case scenario.
Yeah.
Just
well,
like
what Jeff was talking about, people slamming in reverse and hitting the person behind them. You know.
Yeah,
Also,
that
the brake checking is getting caught because so many transport truck drivers were getting scrooged over
that's where cameras come in.
big time. Yep.
And so I know when I get my shit together and drive back cross country, I'm gonna have fucking 360 camera on the roof.
Great idea.
And I'm gonna be one of those asshole drivers on the freeway going about 2 miles under the speed limit, so no one has any opportunity to stop me for anything illegal.
My uncle drives like that. He will not go over the speed limit. Like his maximum speed, the speedometer's like dead on.
Well, I typically drive like that, but things aren't typical anymore, and I'll be crossing through several different states, and it's not worth it. You get a ticket in Texas and you go to Alabama, you got to, that's a hell of a commute. Go to court, you know what I'm saying, to fight that. So they just like, uh, it stems from Jefferson Parish, which is uh, New Orleans. They had one heck of a racket there back in the before Katrina, long before Katrina, where the state troopers in Jefferson Parish could stop for and use some drug law to confiscate your vehicle and hold it. And the judges were in on this racket to where they made it so expensive for you. It was almost as expensive to get your RV back as it was to rebuy one, to where a lot of people didn't even bother getting their RV back. They just took a loss on it. And it got to the point where the judges and the state troopers in Jefferson Parish would say, hey, I like that RV. And they'd go stop the person, accuse them of some drug thing, take it and confiscate it. And if the judge wanted it, he'd get it. And if the state trooper dude wanted it, he'd get it. And it was legal. And that's one reason why I think during Katrina that federal aid was so long in coming, was because they wanted to break the back of the corruption down there, because it was corrupt as heck fire.
Corruption abounds.
Yeah, I don't plan on doing I-10. I plan on going probably I-40 and then come down after I pass. I might go through like the say 40 miles of Texas up there by oh shit, I don't remember the Amarillo area. I think it's north part of the tip of Texas, like right there by Oklahoma. I think it's Highway 40 or 20. Yeah, I stay out of Texas, man, because those cops are the ones I'm always worried about, because they know you come from out of town, and to fight those tickets is more expensive than just to pay it. So you're guaranteed pretty much that you're a driving ticket. It's I-40 right on. Thank you, Jeffrey. You're guaranteed a riding ticket if you're in fucking Texas, as far as I see it.
Yeah, I feel a little bit more vulnerable these days too, as a Canadian driving down into the States.
Dude, I'm hoping to have some land in Alabama where I can have an address and have my friend buy me a car, or have him register whatever vehicle I'm using in Alabama and send me the plates. So when I leave California, I don't have California plates.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yep.
The last thing I want is California plates running through Arkansas or Oklahoma or whatever.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to scrutinize Ontario plates more than California.
I'm sure Alberta's going to be loved anywhere they go in America.
I hope so. I hope so. I think your typical, this is just generalizing, but your typical Alberta is so in tune with American morals, ethics, way of life.
Hold the show down for about 2 minutes. I need to go catch a kitty cat.
For sure. And I'd say like Alberta's a large province. Like it's huge if you look at it on the map, but especially if you look at Calgary. Like to me, Calgary is the closest thing that Canada has to Texas. Although you could go to pretty much any province in Canada, especially if you go into the rural areas, and you'll find a similar thing. Thanks, B. Taylor. My local coin shop had these. I call them buffalo bars, but they had them. They were the cheapest thing, the closest to spot for several months back when I was really stacking hard, and so I got a ton of them. Um, Ultimately, I actually prefer the sunshine bars because of their security feature, but um, I do like the buffalo bars as well. Now, I'll tell you this, B. Taylor, if you like those bars, I have a feeling you're going to like this bar. Let's see how you like that. Hey, Maria, I'm near Toronto, so just north of Buffalo, New York, north of Niagara Falls by about 100 miles. And I used to drive into Buffalo, New York a couple times a year to go to the outlet malls there and go shopping. Because even after the currency exchange rate, I could still buy clothes, and brand name clothes. Uh, Even after the exchange rate, 20 to 30% cheaper than here. Silvertown, yeah, I like Silvertown. I don't have any of those loaded up in here, but I do. I like this platinum bar because it. I feel like it's got my name right on it.
Thank you. I knew she was going to be a problem getting that medicine down her throat, so I had to mount her to where she couldn't freak out, and it took a little bit longer than usual.
I don't get the reference there, Jeffro. Niagara Falls. Slowly we turn, step by step, inch
It's
by
it's an old movie.
inch. Okay.
It's if I recall correctly, it's been done in a comical format. I believe Three Stooges or something like that.
Okay.
Or black and white types comical scenario. I don't exactly recall. Three Stooges. Okay, I was correct.
Interesting, because I used to watch Three Stooges a lot.
Well, there was a bunch of different ones
Okay.
throughout time period. There was quite a few. At one point in time, Curly actually had hair.
Yeah.
They went through different variations till they got. Yeah, they had Shemp.
There we go. Now this guy's dirty because I got it in my smoke shed here. I'll have to clean it up, but there's a nice silver bar.
Nice.
Yeah, I like these guys. That's a 10 ounce. I think last time I showed this thing, I accidentally dropped it on my laptop. I got that one hanging out here. There, we got to have a little bit of Canadian content every once in a while. That's pretty much all I've got for show and tell right here.
All I have for show and tell is gems and crystallized osmium, and I don't think anyone has any of those.
I do.
Oh, right. Do. You got crystallized osmium, yes.
I got some gemstones too.
Oh, sweet.
That that gemstone imports place that I told you about.
Yeah.
So I've got emerald, tiger's eye, aventurine, moonstone, ruby, but none of it's super valuable. It was kind of out of a bulk bin type thing.
Doesn't have to be valuable. It's what you do with it makes it valuable.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And I haven't done anything with it yet.
I've started, but I need more equipment to finish. And once I get back to work, be no problem with that. And that'll also occupy more of my day because once I get that other equipment, I'll start making my special type of gem with osmium in the middle of it.
Yeah. There we go. Got to have a little osmium content.
I played your video, minute and 36-second video of osmium at the beginning of the show.
I noticed that you've done that a few times.
Yeah, just
May as well.
keep everyone up there.
May as well. But yeah, B Taylor, like I do not have a lot of osmium. I've only got well, it was $500 US purchase, but enough that I could turn it into some jewelry, and
that's where you make the money. And this is where I suggest again, if they're going to reevaluate the price of gold, your silvers and platinums will also go up. I don't know how substantially and to equalize out with the traditional gold price, but in the past, they went up just about the same. When back, and we only have the 1933 price reset to go off of, and it's not really that good of a linchpin to look at for what will happen with the other metals if they do reevaluate gold at a lot higher than it is now. But the other metals will go up too. So just having other metals and or gold for that alone, but that's a long-term bet because you never know when they're going to reevaluate gold.
Yep.
I have a feeling it's going to be in 2028 now.
good question, C4T.
Indeed. You can actually go online and make the order online, or you can call and have them go online and tell them which one you want, and they can order while you're looking at the one online. Because if you order from the Osmium Institute, you're going to pay the European tax, which we have always paid, and it is called a tariff. Over there, they call it a VAT tax. So if you buy directly from the Osmium Institute in Germany, you're going to pay a 20% tariff on top of the price. To where if you buy from the dealers, and there's like 3 or 4 of them here in America, you don't pay that price, so you actually get it minus the 20%. Yeah. So yeah, you get it cheaper than Europeans get it.
And I think like there are some people in Neil's situation who have bought the osmium and maybe prepared to sell it. Like I don't want to drop names here. You can feel free if you want, Neil. But
I'm not selling mine.
But I think that there are some people that would, like you could do it like on a StreamYard thing like this.
Oh yeah, no, there's websites out there that not websites, excuse me, YouTube shows out there where they sell crystallized osmium, auction it off.
Yep. Yeah, and actually osmium, it has been doing well by the looks of it. I'll share the screen here in a second.
I'd have to double check that one. I think it's a lot higher per ounce.
Here you go. Well, that's euros. We want US dollars.
No, let's do Russian.
Rubles.
Really fuck with people.
Do it in pesos.
There you go. Oh, no, Zimbabwe note. That way it looks like it's expensive.
Nice. I'm a Zimbabwe quadrillionaire.
Dude, I'm there with you, man. I still can't pay my light bill.
So this is, I'll drop the link for this. This is showing the current price for osmium is a little over $2,000 US per gram.
Well, Jeffro has it at 2,036.5.
Jeffro's bang on. That's exactly what this says.
Right on. I guess I shouldn't have questioned him when he said it.
No, he's got a. It's exactly the same as what this says.
And look at that chart.
That's a 1-year chart.
Look at that chart.
And this is going back to
look
2017.
You see any other chart that doesn't have a negative a downward trend, big one. This one just keeps a little small down, a little bigger up, 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 small down, big up, small down, big up.
It actually looks extremely stable.
Man. Yeah, that's why I say buy silver, platinum, and crystallized osmium, guys.
Yeah. Now I do feel like it could have a fairly decent drop just because it had this big upswing in here.
How long's it gone since then?
This is just
No,
this
from
one
the
has 6
upswing.
months.
May 2026, 2025. What was the date there?
April of
2024.
2025. So
April.
this is just the last couple months.
Oh well, yeah,
Had a big jump.
yeah. Okay, it could. If it was like 6 months ago, I'd say probably not. But because it seems kind of stable at the new price.
This is a 3-month chart now.
Yeah, so for 2 months it's been stable.
Yeah. I'll drop the link in the chat for this so anyone can reference it, and it'll probably bring it up to the 3-month automatically. Yeah, 5 gram.
I know full when I say buy silver, platinum, and crystallized osmium. Everybody knows about silver. Everyone's done a little bit of research on silver, but I've done the research on platinum and crystallized osmium, and they are, if not better, just as good as silver,
Yeah.
depending on what you're looking at buying it for.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, just stick with gold," but I got to tell you, like, if I won $10 million in a lottery, I wouldn't put most of it into gold, and the reason is just because it goes against my philosophy of buying low. I don't like buying anything when it's at an all-time high.
Neither do I.
And
I don't
actually,
know
like,
why more
even
people
osmium falls into that now. But
And that's I don't. Well, probably most of you are not aware of this, but when I first hooked up with osmium, the Osmium Institute in Germany, they're 2 millimeter squares. I saw the price of them, and I looked and I saw their business model, and I saw everything, and I found out a lot of stuff, and I was like, doing my due diligence research. So I bought a whole bunch of them because they was like $25 each. See how much they are now? They're like $76. Because after I bought a whole bunch, and I should have bought more, I let them know that they had an error in their business model, and they were getting rid of things at a cheaper price than they should, and they took the 2 millimeter squares off of the market for about 3 months until they reevaluated their platform, and then they reevaluated the price, and then they relisted it at twice the value it was before I bought it.
yeah. I do still think that gold's. I know Jeffro says it's run its course. I do think that it's still going to do well.
I don't think it's run its course. I think it's been a bizarre cycle this cycle because of outwardly forces basically being Basel III, and central banks they weren't buying gold because the cycle of gold, it was going up and they wanted to profit from it. Central banks never buy gold to profit off of it. They buy it to keep in regulatory compliance so they can stay in business. Under Basel III, they had to jump up their 10% holdings of gold for their outwardly debts of whatever. They had to have 10% in gold holdings. They had to up that to 22 to 27%. Basel III's enactment starts July 1st, 2025, and they have to come into full compliance by June 30th, 2028. So I think the central banks were front running their need for over doubling the amount of gold holdings they had to have to stay in business as a financial institution under the new regulations of Basel III. So they were buying it, and it made it look like a gold run. And technically it was more like a gold squeeze because everyone was buying bulk amounts of it because they had to.
That's
Why?
right.
Not because of the economy, not because of the bull run, the gold or precious metals run, but because of Basel III. And for them to stay in business, they have to come in compliance. And they figured, fuck, the price is cheap now. Let's front run it before it goes up too much more. And I think that right there has changed the dynamics of the normal precious metals bull run in gold. And I think that's why we've seen only gold go up and silver not sprint behind it. Because everyone says silver sprints. All these big YouTubers tell you gold run, or at least they used to. Gold runs and silver sprints. That means if gold goes up 200%, silver go up 300 to 400% even faster. And that's not happened even yet. So that's why I do the assumption that the gold price has gone up through purchasing of the regulatory changes of Basel III through central banks. Because if you notice, only the central banks are the big buyers, not really any retail, other than a FOMO reaction to an upwardly action in price. That was not part of the bull run, but because of central banks buying in bulk to come in compliance with Basel III. So once July 1st comes in, I think they're going to stop their bulk buying because they'll have purchased as much as they need to stay in compliance with Basel III. At least a majority of them, probably 70 or 80% of them. They'll still be buying, but I think it'll slow down on buying and the price will stagnate. And then I think silver will run, and then gold will do its second run up, and then silver do its second run, and it'll go through its normal cycle. But I think it's been not falsely manipulated, but manipulated through regulation and the purchasing power of central banks, 185 central banks needing to over double their gold holdings.
Yeah. And I've actually spoken with some jewelers when I was looking at the osmium, and I was telling them that I wanted it to be in gold, silver, and platinum jewelry set with osmium. And just in that discussion, what they all said was that gold is becoming much less popular for jewelry now, and silver is becoming much more popular just because of the price.
Yep.
So, agreeing with you on what you said, and on the retail side, especially with respect to jewelry, I think the demand for gold has actually been pulling back relative to silver.
Yeah, and actually in China, and this trend's going to start too, China platinum for jewelry has really risen because it's 1/3 the price of gold.
Yeah.
And yet it's considered, I mean, look at the Visa gold card and then their platinum card, which is better than the gold card. And then look at the Ford F350 Platinum Edition. And then look at Gain dishwashing detergents Platinum Edition. Everyone has the mindset of platinum's better than gold. So,
it's more durable. It's more durable for jewelry too.
Oh, most definitely. And the Chinese are buying a crap load of it for jewelry right now, on top of other reasons.
Yeah. Hey Neil, I got to take off, but appreciate you having me up here.
Yeah, not a problem.
If anyone else wants to join the panel there, it's the link is pinned at the top there. It's the StreamYard link. Have at it.
Yeah,
I hope everyone has a good evening, and we'll see you.
Have a great weekend until we see each other again.
Sounds good. Have a good night, everyone.
They get fined probably 1% of the profit margin they make off of doing the crime. So that's why they continuously do it. And that's bureaucracy. Oh, I'm not going anywhere, Pete. That's JM's going. I'm going to stay for probably 10, 12 more minutes, and then I'm going to get off. It's been a nice hot day up here. I triple watered my tomatoes. I actually dug a hole for a water reservoir in between them all, so that way they get a real good watering, and I filled it up 3 times today, 2 of them. So they really sucked up the water. I'm anticipating dramatic growth in the next heat wave. And hopefully, since the Drug Enforcement Agency with the Justice Department, November of last year, started working on changings of the writing of the law of marijuana being a class 1 drug and changing it to a class 3. And the reason why they stated they were doing that is because of the medicinal and commercial uses of the marijuana plant. So hopefully by this November, Trump will be able to keep his campaign promise of making medical marijuana legal federally. And he can only do that after the Drug Enforcement Agency and Department of Justice take it from a class 1 to a stage 1 drug to stage 3 because of the legal implications and differences. But once they do that, he'll be able to keep his first term's campaign promise of legalizing medical marijuana nationwide. And if he does that before the end of this year, I'll have about 10 pounds of marijuana to sell. If he doesn't, I'm not going to sell any of it because I don't like skirting the law. That's one thing I don't want to do is skirt the law. But if he makes medical marijuana legal, I'll be able to, it'll increase the value of outdoor weed, and I'll probably get like $2,000 a pound. Little ace in the hole. It'll be too late probably to buy silver. It'll probably have already run. Most everything will have already run by then. Yeah, and believe it or not, B. Taylor, and I'm not going to say where this is at, but I found some land in the area I need to be in. 19 acres for $34,000. I'm probably going to own that within 3 months if it's still available. I don't even need to get a bank to finance that. I'm going to talk to the guy himself and say, hey, let's work a deal. And I'm going to do it. If they do it federally, medical marijuana legally, you probably won't, because it'll just be like a prescription. It'll be like aspirin, Tylenol, Bayer, and all these other drugs that are class 3. Not only that, it opens up. Here's another good thing too. It opens up for commercial use of growing hemp and having industry start manufacturing hemp wood. Because if you do hemp wood is stronger. It's pest resistant, mold and mildew resistant, more so than tree wood. And I think in like 1,000 square acre area, America in 9 months could grow enough hemp to overcome our need for wood, and would have a better quality of wood and a better product in product, because your house wouldn't be getting mold, mildew, termites, or any other pests, because it would be a hemp wood, and it would be a stronger house. And we can only do that when they declassify marijuana from a stage 1 or class 1 to class 3 felony, or drug, not felony. Class 1 is class 3 drug. And that opens up a major industry for where you'll need to build a lot of things, to manufacture in country, and you'll have to hire a lot of people. So with the regulation changes, law changes, and new technology, there's going to be plenty of work. It's just going to be a 3 to 5 year changeover. Hopefully they'll speed it up, and it'll be like a 1 to 2 year turnover. Man, and you know what? That was probably because it was too early in the time period. They were probably trying that in the 80s. That was just too early. This now, the time and the environment we're in now, the economic environment, the whole world is changing over from not being a one global unit, like what is the word for it? A one world nation, one world government, which is kind of sort of what we were in. Every country is now breaking apart and becoming an individual sovereign country again. And that's why I was paying attention to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and what their economics are doing, because I think they're being used as a use case for a possible future of economics worldwide. Same with El Salvador, I believe, is on Bitcoin. I believe they're using that to see how to integrate that into an economic worldwide platform. And that's why those several different countries are doing the economic things they're doing, but they're doing them as sovereign nations, not in control by the EU or the world government or the World Monetary Fund or any of these other one world government funds. We're leaving that phase of governance back to a 50-year plus phase of independent nation governments that can produce everything they need inside their borders, basically. And the ones that can do that the best will be the ones that economically thrive. Certainly, not every country can fully get to that point, but America can actually very, very, very much get to that point if we change a few laws and a few regulations. One of them being the marijuana law, because the industry of the hemp industry, we would never, man, tree huggers would have to get early retirement, bruh. Environmentalists would be pissed. No more tree cutting down. Landowners that buy land to harvest wood would go bankrupt. There'd be a lot of land for sale in America if they do hemp wood. That's all I can say. A lot of things will change. Wildlife will go back to wildlife again because all these mass 10,000 acre forest cut downs that they do every 20 to 30 years will stop. And if you see the wood industry, you'll know what I'm talking about. It happens all the time. They've actually planted forest just to be harvested 30 years later. And they clear cut whole valleys and ridge lines and mountains and just clear cut it. And it's been going on for a long time. And that's why they're looking at the BTC economy that they've got down there. And I say it's a use case for integration for a worldwide application because of the turnaround. Because the way you determine a country, a good monetary policy is not looking at the country that's doing it, but looking at how their policy, monetary policy affects countries around them. And that way, when I was using Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, they all left ECOWAS, which was the Euro franc, which was the French-backed Northwest African dollar that was backed by 13 or 16 countries in West Africa. They left ECOWAS, started their own gold standard backed 100% by gold. Next thing you know, Burkina Faso and Mali pay off their national debt, are doing a lot of cool things. And it's affecting the countries around them. Now there's other countries, Ivory Coast, a couple others, want to join them. So that's why I say if you look at that country's policies and how it affects other countries, well, other countries want to join and follow what Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are doing with the gold-backed dollar, free trade between them, mutual defense pact, all this other stuff. And if you look at El Salvador and South America, they're doing very well with what Jethro just pointed out. So both use cases of both monetary systems are very effective. All we need to do is implement both of them overlapping each other, and we'll have a successful monetary policy. And I think that's what they're going for, but that's just my speculation. B. Taylor, if the marijuana thing doesn't work out for me, it's no big deal. I've grown for years, and I throw away a lot. This year, what I'll probably do is I won't throw it away. If I don't have the opportunity to sell it legally, I'll probably take a lot of the bud and break it down and make like a water extraction hash. It's been years since I've done that, and since I'm leaving California, I'd like to have a good stockpile of hash, maybe an ounce or two. And on that note, I think I'm going to end the stream because I got other things I got to do today. Thank you very much, and I hope it was enlightening, entertaining, and possibly knowledge obtaining. You guys remember, be kind, helpful, and grateful. Buy some silver, some platinum, and some crystallized osmium. And yeah, have a good one. Good night, everybody. Have a great week.